What if I told you the emotions you're feeling right now, yes, this exact one right now, is not really yours? Sounds crazy, right? That anger, that sadness, that sudden wave of excitement, that guilt, what if those weren't reactions but just simple commands issued by your own mind? That's something you can command, or worse, by a part of your mind you don't even know even exists. So, who's really in control of your emotion? Hi, I'm Jay, and you're watching The Curious Explorer, the channel where we unravel the mysteries of psychology, curiosity, and the unseen forces shaping the human thought. Tonight, we uncover on this curious puppeteer within you. The hidden psychology exposed, how your emotions are being controlled. Scientists have discovered something extraordinary. Your mind may not control emotions instantly, but it can reshape them in ways that feel like superpowers. So here's a question no psychologist, philosopher, or neuroscientist can fully agree on. Can your mind control your emotions intentionally or automatically without your permission? The real answer is far stranger than either side admits. Let's step into the part no one wants to talk about. First, before we begin, let's reveal something most people never hear or want to talk about. You don't choose your emotions, they're triggered. Yes, you heard it, you don't choose your emotions, they're triggered. You've been taught that emotions just happen. But what if your emotions are programmed responses, like lines of code running in the background? What if fear activates before you even see the threat? Emotions come from the limbic system, a fast, automatic survival engine older than civilization itself. This ancient system makes decisions in milliseconds, leaving the thinking you to simply obey whatever emotion it delivers. Fear protects you, anger defends you, sadness processes loss, joy rewards connection. Your emotions are not what you think they are, not instinct, not feelings, not reflections of reality. According to neuroscience, your emotions are predictions, they are calculations. Your brain guesses how you should feel before you consciously experience anything at all. Harvard neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett found that your brain creates emotion using past memories, assumptions, and context, not the present moment, meaning the emotion you feel right now might be based on something that happened in hours, days, weeks, or even years ago. And here's the part most people never hear. Neuroscientists discovered that the brain reacts to emotional triggers 200, 700 milliseconds before you're aware of what you're feeling or reacting to. You feel emotions after your mind has already decided. Science calls this preconscious emotional activation. You don't choose your emotions, you receive them. They arrive fully formed and you take the blame, and if that's not unsettling enough, brain imaging studies show that up to 95% of your emotional responses are unconscious, automatic, and programmed. It isn't just a feeling, it's a signal, a message from a part of your mind that operates in the dark that you've never met before. So, ask yourself if nearly all your emotions are created without your awareness, your consciousness, your permission, whether it's from confusion, curiosity, fear, joy, sad, or discomfort, who's actually controlling your emotions? As said, this is where everything you were taught about human emotions begins to fall apart. Your emotions, the anger you felt last week, the joy you forced yourself to feel today, the fear you try to hide at night aren't coming from a single place in your mind. It's coming from a triad of competing systems, each with its own agenda, each operating in the dark, often against your conscious will. Philosophers call it mastery, neuroscientists call it the dark triad of emotional control, psychologists call this emotional hijacking. You might call it mind over emotion or MOE. Even though emotions are automatic, the mind can intercept them like a hacker eavesdropping on your network traffic. The amygdala, the fear dictator or generator, the first controller, the ancient, the impulsive, and the ruthless. It doesn't negotiate, it doesn't ask, it commands. This is why you panic before you think, why your heart races before you speak. This is why you break down before you understand why. Studies from the University of Wisconsin show that the amygdala can trigger fear 12 milliseconds after detecting a threat, long before your conscious mind even understands what's happening. Your body responds to the amygdala's orders. You simply follow orders like a puppet who never realized the strings were inside you. Fear isn't the only fast trigger. Your brain reacts instantly to shame, desire, disgust, anger, surprise, long before you're conscious of any of it. The prefrontal cortex, the logic manipulator, or the filter. The part you think is you, but rarely is. This is the mind strategist, calculating, predicting, rewriting reality to keep you emotionally stable. You don't control your logic controls your story and you. But here's the dark truth. Studies from Stanford reveal that the prefrontal cortex doesn't just regulate emotions. It lies to you by creating rational explanations for emotional reactions you never chose. You think you're explaining your feelings, but you're only explaining your brain's cover-up. Fear is its weapon, and survival is its religion. The default mode network, or DMN, the shadow narrator, the biggest controller of all and the most invisible one. This network runs when you are not even paying attention. It generates your internal voice, your assumptions, your emotional expectations, your identity narrative. It controls the emotions you revisit. The emotions you fear are the emotions you believe are you. Researchers at Yale discovered that the DMN is linked to rumination, anxiety loops, regret, self-criticism, and intrusive memories. This is the part of your mind that talks when no one is speaking, like the invisible narrator in your head, feeding you emotions as if they were your own thoughts. The part you never question but obey. These systems don't always work together. Sometimes they fight at times. It's when the amygdala overrides your logic and makes a decision for you, which means your mind can control your emotions. But not the part of your mind you think it is. The emotional reaction you feel is not produced by one system, but by whichever system overpowers the others in that moment. Your emotions don't come from a single source. They come from a psychological power struggle inside your head, inside your nervous system, inside your unconscious mind, a constant war that you never knew was happening until now. And the darkest fact of all, you don't get to choose the winner. Well, not yet at least. If this is opening your eyes, hit subscribe and drop a comment so the algorithm knows you're awake. Now back to the video. Here's something almost nobody is prepared for. Your emotions can be remotely shaped by facial expressions, tone, and timing. Modern neuroscience quietly admits that emotions are not fixed, universal things. They're constructed, not discovered. This isn't a theory. This is the conclusion of decades of affective neuroscience. Number one, your brain invents emotions on the fly. According to the predictive processing model, your brain does 3 things every second: predict what you're about to feel, guess the context, create the emotion that fits the situation. That means fear, love, anger, anxiety aren't reactions, they're predictions. Researchers at Yale, MIT, and Stanford have all hinted the same disturbing truth. Curious yet good, because it gets even darker. Therefore, 2, if you can change someone's predictions, you can control their emotions. This is the scientific root of emotional manipulation. It's not magic, it's basic brain architecture. Advertisers use it, governments use it, toxic partners use it, even you use it without even realizing it. You ever wonder why you suddenly feel something you didn't want to? That's not weakness, that's programming. Your brain obeys whatever story it thinks is real. So now you have to ask yourself, who told your brain those stories in the first place? You or someone else? Keep that question in the back of your mind. Here's the theory almost no one talks about outside advanced labs. Emotion is not about meaning. Emotion is about survival efficiency. To your brain, fear is not fear. It's prepare for danger. Love is not love. It's stay connected to stay alive. Anger is not anger. It's increased power to overcome obstacles. The brain doesn't feel. It calculates. And here's the darkest part, number 3. You only feel emotions because your brain lies to you. It fabricates has feelings to push you toward behavior that improves survival odds. Your emotions aren't you. They're biological propaganda. Let that sink in for a sec or two. A rising group of cognitive scientists proposed something radical. Emotion isn't a feeling. Emotion is a controlled hallucination. The brain creates a hallucination of internal state to keep the body alive. This explains why you can feel fear with no threat, you can feel love with no connection, you can feel anger without a cause, you can feel sadness without loss. Your brain hallucinates internal danger signals to maintain order, and sometimes it gets it wrong. When your brain predicts danger, you feel fear before anything happens. When your brain predicts abandonment, you feel sadness before loss exists. When your brain predicts threat to status, you feel anger even if you're safe. Emotions are not reactions, they're anticipations. Here's the real twist, the part no one is ready for. Number 4. You can override emotional predictions. The moment you do, your entire emotional world collapses and rebuilds itself. This discovery is so new, many psychologists still don't know what to do with it. And what makes it terrifyingly real is this. Researchers can now predict your emotional response with shocking accuracy just by watching the activity inside your amygdala. They know what you'll feel before you even feel it. So, if you could rewrite the code your brain uses to generate emotions, who would you become? If emotions are constructed, predicted, manipulated, hallucinatory, and survival-driven, then what does it mean to feel anything at all? And more importantly, if your mind creates your emotions, what happens the moment you decide to create new different ones? In 1994, a neuroscientist studied a patient known only as SM, a woman who physically could not feel fear due to an amygdala disorder. She walked into dangerous neighborhoods at night. She allowed strangers to approach her aggressively. She felt nothing, absolutely nothing. Why? Because without the amygdala, the emotion didn't exist. Your fear isn't you, it's a neurological program, and it can be turned on or off. In 2022, MIT researchers discovered that stimulating a specific cluster of neurons could switch emotions from fear to calm, from despair to motivation, like flipping a circuit breaker. Another study found that from 70%, 95% of your emotional reactions are unconscious, meaning your emotional life is mostly automated. Your mind can manufacture emotions without you. What else is it controlling? Your memories, your desires, or your personality? Your relationships? Think of this and leave your answer in the comments. Where do you feel your emotions come from, your mind or your identity? Here's another wild twist. You can control your emotions, but not directly. You must control the systems that create them. Breathing controls the amygdala. Focus controls cortisol. Posture controls confidence. Imagination controls fear. Language controls perception. Your mind manipulates your emotions every second, every hour, every day. The question is whether you do it or not, or does your mind do it for you without your permission? So, can your mind control your emotions? But here's the darkest truth. Your mind controls your emotions more than you control your mind. Until you understand the machine, you are controlled by it. And if your mind is controlling you and you didn't notice, what else have it done that you haven't noticed yet? If this video made you question your emotions, then imagine what the next one will do. Hit that like button if you learned something. Comment your thoughts and opinions. Subscribe and share this video with friends who thinks emotions are just feelings. Thanks for watching. I'm Jay, and I'll see you next time on The Curious Explorer. Because the deeper we go, the stranger and stranger your mind becomes.